going on? I'm Meg Turney.
I'm Steve Zaragoza.
And we played Bioshock Infinite, Burial at Sea Part 1, and we want to talk about it.
Yeah, why not? Because we talk about games that we played all the way through sometimes, and this is no different.
Spoiler alert.
Yeah, cheers.
We do have to talk about the length before we jump into the actual story, because a lot of people were saying they were upset that it's $15 for what could be a 2-hour game. You can stretch it out to 3+ if you want, if you're really going to look around.
Yeah, like I played for probably 4 hours.
Yeah, you can stretch it out if you're going to really explore, but if you just beeline through the story, it could take about 2 hours. But I have to say to that, $15 is for an experience.
Yeah.
It's not for, you're not paying for a full-size game. And Ken Levine shines when it comes to experiences. And he actually said, for people who are asking me if it's worth $15, I can't tell you that. I don't know how much time you have to play and what your money situation is like. All I know is that it's an experience, and that's what I'm going for. I'm not going for longest play time or most action. I'm just trying to give you a new experience.
Well, I'd say if you're a Bioshock fan at all, then it's 100% worth the $15.
Absolutely.
Like, it's just, and especially if you love the original Bioshock and even Bioshock 2, which we'll kind of gloss over. But yeah, being back in Rapture, like that alone is worth the ticket price. It's almost like going to see a movie you really love in the theater again when they show like screenings of like Poltergeist is playing in 35mm at this like really cool theater. Yeah, I'm gonna pay $10 to see Poltergeist in the movie theater. It's almost like that, except this is a whole new experience. This is Rapture in its heyday, just before New Year's, before everything goes to shit, which is so cool because everything looks beautiful and it's just I nerded out so much.
It's awesome, and we have this sassy Elizabeth who's come to us. She right off the bat, first of all, I tweeted last night that I was falling in love with her again because right off the bat she kicks a dude in the nuts.
Yeah.
Then she mid-orgasms over some recording, like pretends to get all hot and heavy over a recording to distract people. Yeah. She's sassy. And then we gotta talk about at the end where she fucking fucks you, and it's awesome.
Yeah.
She doesn't, that's wrong.
I mean, she doesn't fuck you, but she fucks you.
Look. She gave me chills. She was easily the best part of this story for me.
Yeah, and so, okay, so for those of you that are like, I'm never going to play this, so I don't care, and I don't care about spoilers or whatever, basically we are, we're back in the world of Rapture. We're playing as Booker, the main character from Bioshock Infinite, and we're joined with Elizabeth, also kind of the heroine of Bioshock Infinite, but they're not necessarily the Booker and Elizabeth that we played as and saw in Bioshock Infinite, because at the end of Bioshock Infinite, spoiler alert, you find that there is like an infinite amount of different realities and different versions of Bookers, and there's like an infinite amount of Bookers and Elizabeths.
Right. And so we don't know quite yet which Booker and Elizabeth we're really playing with here.
Could be the ones from Infinite.
Yeah, it seems like the Elizabeth from Infinite to me.
Yeah.
Obviously, this isn't the Booker from Infinite because he dies, but we're not sure. He does remember being dead, though, so he might be, because he remembers being dead, he bleeds. But this time we have a tattoo as opposed to the burn mark, so I think it's a different Booker. But the differences in the Infinite story to this Burial at Sea story are very cool. This time, the baby isn't missing a pinky, it's missing its whole head.
Which is great because the imagery, because throughout the entire game you have this like little Cupid doll head on like Booker's desk in the very beginning of the game, and then you have like these images of like just a headless doll, and then when he goes to find his daughter, supposedly he shows her the little doll head, and she's kind of like, oh, I know what this is, and then it's like there's all this imagery about heads, this little doll head, and then you find out that the reason why is because he accidentally cut off his daughter's head.
Yeah, like while trying to, it seems like he was trying to do the right thing this time and not let Anna go, but it didn't work out for him. Yeah. And we see the return of the fucking Big Daddy.
Oh, it was so cool! I missed the Big Daddy! And it's so funny because going back into Rapture and seeing Rapture in its heyday, I wasn't thinking about the Big Daddies
Did you see
all.
them at the beginning?
Yeah,
when they're like doing the construction?
when they're working on shit. And that's when I was like, oh shit, there's a Big Daddy! There's a Big Daddy outside the window and it's working on things! It's so cool! And then when you walk up to like the people watching the Big Daddy, there's like, they're having these discussions, which is half the amazingness of coming back to Rapture, and half the amazingness of Burial at Sea is all the little discussions. And you didn't really care that much about the discussions. I didn't, anyway, in like the original Bioshock.
Right.
And like in Infinite, I didn't care too much about the discussions, even though there's like so much more story elements being discussed that way. But in this one, in Burial at Sea, I wanted to hear everything, because this is like past version of Rapture shit going on, and we don't know what's going on with Ryan and all that shit, and so you hear this couple talking about the Big Daddy, and they're like, what is under that suit anyway? Like, what is it? Like, who's under that thing? And the other guy's like, it's just some mechanical, like, mutation that they're working on. Like, who knows? And I love it, because those are the kind of things we talk about. Like, what's in the Bioshock? What's in the Big Daddy suit? Yeah. And then we get to see the new Big Daddy feature. Right off the bat, which is, like, it already kind of proves that you're in this alternate Rapture. It's not the Rapture we were in.
It's not the Rapture we know.
Yeah, it's not the Rapture we know.
Big Daddies are a little bit different.
Exactly, this Big Daddy can shoot this, like, drill out, boom, like in a, like, really far away. Like Scorpion, yeah, and then get over here, he can, like, zoom over to where it's kind of like a grappling hook.
It's a real fucking annoying thing if you're trying to run, but it's really cool.
Yeah.
And I have to say, I thought this was a reference to the Big Daddies at the beginning, and I wasn't sure if I was right or not until we saw them at the end, which is, if you see the little sisters, when he's like, oh, those are little sisters, the lady is teaching the little sisters green means go and red means stop. That's what the Big Daddy lights do when they sense danger. And I was like, oh, cool, I wonder if that's a Big Daddy reference. And then when she was like, Mr. Bubbles, get him, I was like, yes!
That was so cool.
Also, I like that we burned a child.
Yeah.
It's like, what does Irrational have against children? A+, guys. Right in my vein.
I love so the kind of through line of the game is that we're looking for Booker's for Booker's daughter.
Well, he keeps saying it's not my daughter.
Well, that's true. I know. Well, whatever. He's looking for a little girl, and Elizabeth's there saying she has interest in helping him find the little girl. And from what we know of Infinite, we're kind of like, all right, we know where this is going. So that's what you're doing. You're kind of like just going through this little story of them trying to find this little girl, and then we learn about the little sisters, and we learn about all those things, and then we get to see that artist guy from Bioshock 1.
We gotta talk about the artist guy.
Yeah, and like we have to get into his like crazy party, and instantly when you go down to like where his like secret party is, like there's those splicer guys like dancing on the pedestals, and I was like, oh my god, these are splicers before they become splicers. It's so cool.
It's really cool. And actually Booker talks about people splicing out.
Like
using too much and they become splicers. We gotta talk about the artist guy, because they play the Waltz of the Flowers from the Nutcracker suite, and then he just fucking kills them.
Well, but it's all eyes wide shut in there too, because everyone's got the masks on, and it's like those big statues with like his projected face on it, like those were fucking cool, and the guy is just insane. And when you meet him in Bioshock 1, he's already like completely distorted insane. He's like splicer fucked up or whatever, and he's been murdering people. And so you see kind of like how crazy he is before he becomes super crazy. Yeah. And you're right, he's just electrocuting people.
It was awesome. Kill him. I love it. They're both like, no! Like, no, they know what's gonna happen. Very cool. But there was one moment, my favorite moment in the whole part 1 of Burial at Sea, is a little thing. I wonder if you noticed it. So when we're talking to Crazy Artist Guy, he says something. Elizabeth is kind of standing off to the side, and he says something like creepy to you. I don't remember what the line exactly is. You're looking for something, but he says something like that. And Elizabeth slides her eyes to you and gives you like this really poignant look, and then slides her eyes back to the artist, and it gave me chills. I love that he calls her a little songbird.
Songbird, yeah! I was like, did he call her songbird? Oh my god! This is total fan service, awesome shit. And so, okay, so we talked a little bit about the story stuff. We kind of have to talk about like the gameplay stuff. So it's basically like your standard Bioshock stuff going on. Once you kind of get back into the groove of it, it's just like being back home. It's like very easy, very fun. And so I played it on the hard setting. So I didn't really get a chance to level up my powers. And
I didn't get a chance at all either.
I was collecting all this money, and at one point I had enough for like maybe the lowest upgrade of the telekinesis one or something, or the possession one, and I fucking died and lost half my money. So I basically said, fuck it. I think the only thing I could afford was like maybe ammo or something.
Yeah, I would do ammo and like Eve if I needed it, like Eve hypos. But I didn't power up anything, but I did like the new plasmid.
Father Winter or something.
I use that a lot.
Yeah, it was fun.
It was really fun.
I love the establishment too, the big statue, and like how you were like, oh, and the tears, how we're reintroduced to the tears.
Yep, we got the tears.
That was
going on
really
again.
cool. He's like, what kind of plasmid is that? And she's like,
It's called Tear.
Yeah, it's called
says it's
Tear.
called Tear.
Yeah, and he's like, where do you get it? A girl can't reveal all her secrets.
The only thing I felt like this time, I felt like they took the feedback of her always being in your face, Elizabeth always being in your face with ammo and Eve and health. I felt like they took that so she was less in our face about it, like less like, Booker, catch! Yeah. That happened less. But she would do this, she said it 15 times during the goddamn thing. It's the only thing that bothered me about the download, the DLC was, she would go, Booker, look. I don't know where the fuck you want me to look, Elizabeth, because you're just fucking looking off in the distance. I can't. And then, like, I see the splicers, bitch. I don't need you to keep going, we got company.
Yeah, exactly.
Booker, splicers.
Well, the other thing that sucked for me was, like, the goddamn indicator on the screen that there's hooks that you can like jump up on.
Try the ramp will take you to higher ground and help you bound over bit.
And it's like, I get it. I gotta look for the hooks because that's a part of the gameplay. It like was it was a little annoying.
It was annoying, and it actually happened to me right before the Big Daddy thing. It was like just stuck to my screen. I'm like, go away, I see the track.
I get that I'm gonna have to use the track to fight this guy. I get it. One more thing I have to talk about, and we should talk about, is the fucking ray gun thing, the radio frequency gun.
Best gun ever.
So cool! I love it! I want that in future Bioshock games. I want it because it was so cool. It's basically this like kind of satellite dish thing, and you could concentrate a beam on someone and it just like poof, like implodes
vaporized them.
Yeah, into like red mist basically. So cool.
Very cool. It looked like somebody took a steamer basket for vegetables and like put it on a gun.
Or the thing that like Louis Tully is wearing in Ghostbusters when he's like, when they're reading his brain. But one of my favorite moments in the game was all of the splicers like coming at you. There was at least like 6 of them all running, and I like pull out my radar gun and I fire it just at one guy, and then there was this like chain reaction thing, and they all dissolve at the same time. I was like, "Whoa, that was so cool!"
That's an achievement. So make sure you do that as often as possible. So I think that's pretty much it. Part 1, friggin' amazing.
Yes.
Can't wait for part 2. This time we're gonna get to play as Elizabeth because it ends with Elizabeth being sassy as fuck with the Lutece twins, and you getting Big Daddy drilled right in the gut. So who knows where it's gonna go.
And by the way, seeing the Lutece twins, and then the tears, and just all those like fun elements of Infinite brought into the Rapture world. The skyhook shit going on that wasn't really the skyhook, all that stuff. So awesome. Perfect blend of all things Bioshock. Great fan service, lots of fun. I highly recommend it. Meg highly recommends it. And yeah, we can't wait for the second one. So yeah, so thanks for joining us, guys, and let us know what you thought of Burial at Sea in the comments down below if you played it, and if you haven't, then you should, because it's very awesome.
Don't forget to like, subscribe. If you haven't already, you can click down here, visit 4Human Peoples. They always have good stuff, or go to SourceFed.com to see everything we've ever done. I'm Meg Turney.
I'm Steve Zaragoza.
I feel like we should call this Sassy Bioshock, because like the Lutece twins were sassier, and Elizabeth was sassier, and everybody was just sassy.
Also, I guess we were Comstock, right? We were Comstock by the end. Like, we weren't really
Booker's always Comstock.
Yeah, but I mean, like, Booker was like, Booker came out of, or no, Comstock came out of Booker. He was Booker first, and then he became Comstock, right? Like
right. He was Booker first, then he got baptized, and he became Comstock. Then Comstock was like, fuck, this life sucks. I gotta hide somewhere, and then he went back to being Booker.
Yeah. So this one we were playing as like Comstock the whole time, though, I think. He was like a Comstock version of Booker.
Yes. Because it's Comstock who's traveled back.
Yeah,
to become
exactly.
Booker again. Yeah.
God, so cool!
I did not follow any of that.